Episode of Hire Women podcast here on Respect My Region Network. My name is Shelbie Vasquez. I'm your host. Today is the episode 4 of season 3, and I have a very special guest, Adelia Carillo of Blunt Brunch and eventhi. She is someone who inspires me as a fellow Latina in the cannabis industry and someone who's just making waves and doing the most. Before we get started, I'm going to share a word from our sponsor today. Today's episode is powered by RMR Legacy Smalls, Respect My Region's cannabis flower line available in Washington State and California. The current strains include Dedication OG, Super Mimosa, Rainbow Truffle, London Pound Cake, and Orange Sherb. Thank you so much for taking time out of your day to speak with us. How are you doing today?
Thank you. Thank you for the invite. I'm glad we were able to lock it in. I'm excited for the conversation. I'm doing good today. Yeah, today's a good day.
Beautiful. A little background. Adelia is co-founder of Blunt Brunch, which is an opportunity for women in the cannabis space to connect and grow relationships. And she is CMO for eventhi, which is a event website that talks about or invites you to events in the cannabis industry across the nation. Correct?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, we're like a ticketing platform, so people can purchase tickets or brands can purchase sponsorships for upcoming events all throughout the United States.
Beautiful. I have been to a Blunt Brunch in California in LA, and I was wowed by everybody. Everybody shows up and dresses in their best. The fashion is amazing. The conversations, the networking, the fun activities and activations by the other brands, it was so inspiring. I've met a lot of beautiful people and I'm still friends with them today. I work for Yummy Karma and I was able to meet someone that we ended up using as a model for our social media. So Blunt Brunch definitely provides a lot of value. So I'm excited to go to the next one. But yes, I'd like to just get to know you a little more and our audience gets to know you. So want to share where you came from and what's your family stance on cannabis?
Yeah, so I'm from California. I'm initially from the Bay Area, but essentially I moved to San Diego when I was really young. So San Diego essentially is like my home. My mom worked for the district attorney's office and my stepdad was a cop and a sheriff. He's now retired. Also growing in a Hispanic home, and with my grandma and tia and tios, it was definitely looked down upon. I always grew up with cannabis is bad, all the stigmas, if you do it, you're going to go down the hill of doing all these drugs, blah, blah, blah. But luckily, when cannabis came back into my life at an older age, they saw the actual medical benefits and what it did for me. And that alone changed their mind. And I literally, they were the only ones that I cared about when I left my corporate job and came into the industry. So seeing them see the change and seeing the value that cannabis brought to my life personally from a medical value was one of the most amazing things.
Yeah, cool. I also have a similar background. My mom has worked for the police department my whole life. So I know exactly probably the same things that you were going through.
Yeah.
Moving into San Diego, what was your first job? Like, what did you want to be when you grew up?
So it's funny because I kind of almost started doing that. I did that for a while in the cannabis industry in a certain way. I always wanted to be a news reporter. And so that was like my vision and what I wanted to do when I grew up. And then I forgot about that dream, until my fiance, when I first started my first business in the cannabis industry, he was like, I remember you shared this with me before. He's like, I don't know if you remember it, but you told me when you were little, you always wanted to be a news reporter. And now you're building a news platform in the cannabis industry. So in a way, it came to fruition in a different route.
Manifestation. That makes a lot of sense. You're definitely amazing on camera and the way you speak. So that makes so much sense.
Thank you.
What was your first day working in cannabis like?
My first day in cannabis, I'll kind of put it at our first event. So my first company in the industry was called Direct Cannabis Network. We were DCN Media. We basically were a tech crunch for cannabis. So we covered cannabis startups, tech, and innovation. And my goal with that company was to, I looked at technology as the head of cannabis, and the heart is a big component I didn't want us to lose. So I thought building a media platform where we shared the entrepreneurs' why and we reminded them what they were doing, it was going to provide a lot of value. Anyways, I digress. But that first day, we went to one of our first events, and it was back in the medical days. So those events were a little bit funner back then, but it was a wake up call because we had our camera crew, and, there was like, and we were all young. And so we had a camera crew, a photographer, and there was like 2 of us, and we were ready to go. And it was still at that point where a lot of people don't want to be on camera. They were like, whoa, wait a minute, you're interviewing me. Like, it wasn't as it is now where people are like, no, I need to be on camera. I want to talk about my brand. And so it was kind of like, okay, we need to show who we are, and that we're not just trying to come in and infiltrate this industry, or just, kind of give people, I don't know, just say too much about people and their businesses. So we kind of backed off that event and just enjoyed ourselves and really built the relationships and, realized like, let's approach this more organically and not just be so up in everybody's face with a camera.
Amazing. Yeah, that was a funny time where you would go to an event and there would be tons of signs plastered being like, you're being on camera right now, just so you know.
Yeah.
But, I still wish we can go back to those times.
I do too. I had a lot more fun. I mean, I was still having fun, but it was a different culture back then.
More sampling, more open, just more.
Just a different vibe.
So that's the difference between now and then. Now it's a little more regulated and toned down, and you gotta get your goodie bag at the end and stuff like that. But who is the team behind Blunt Brunch besides you, and what makes your group different or special?
So, we have been able to grow Blunt Brunch quite rapidly. And in reality, we're a small team. It's really me and Parisa, my business partner. We're the ones that co-founded Blunt Brunch together. And, we have a couple partners that are referral partners that are amazing. They are really helping us evolve nationals this year. A few of them that we've had join is Sarissa and Ashley. We also have a gentleman, Indio, and each of them are helping us really strive to grow our partnerships with brands for this upcoming nationals. We also have brought on a good friend of mine, Sahira. She's part of Medicated Barbies, and she's one of the producers of Kush Talk, and she's going to be our day of coordinator this year, which is really awesome because we're now able to kind of, delegate some things and instead of it just being me and Parisa. It's good to bounce ideas off of others other than just us two. But, we hope that by next year we'll be able to evolve and really bring in more team members on instead of on a project basis, more continuously.
Cool. That's amazing. I'm familiar with the Medicated Barbie, so that's great to collab. Her events are awesome, so that's great that she gets to help you guys facilitate and work together. I love that. What is one of your favorite moments that has happened at Blunt Brunch? I'm sure there are many, but if there are any that stick out.
There are. You're right. There are. But I would say the one that stuck out to me the most was last year's Nationals event. Just getting on that stage and just seeing how big we've been able to expand the community within, less than 3 years in business. We've started, monthly in Arizona with like 30 to 40 women having brunch or doing activities together. From there, we were able to expand to a couple different cities, and we brought on co-hosts for a little while. But we always had a national event in Vegas, and the first year was for 50 women, and we sold out. And so we did a couple other events that during MJ BizCon week, and just seeing though 50 women for brunch in the first year to 250, almost 300 women was just mind blown. Like I remember I grabbed Priest's hand when we were on stage, and I was like, hold on, we need to take a minute and like look at everyone and just see the magic that is coming together. And just hearing everybody after that, seeing what they gained from that event. And even LA, like you said, seeing what was evolved. And I love hearing that people have like working relationships now from these events, or friendships. So many friendships have evolved. So it would be nationals last year for sure.
That's so cool. Yeah, I know. You guys do like a group photo too, so that's funny that you probably have to do a panorama version
Yeah.
for the group photo. I'm excited to be in the group photo in Vegas.
Yes, I'm so excited you're going to be there.
And then what kind of food do you guys have at the brunch, and who makes it?
So this year, since last year's nationals, we found an amazing venue called the IPEC, and they provide everything. It's this beautiful venue, and they provide the food. They provide, just everything within this space. So it's made it really, such an easier experience having to just work with one team, really. What they're going to do this year, and we're still fine tuning the menu, but I'll kind of talk more about last year. We had like eggs, sausages, bacon, the general brunch type of stuff. But what was a real hit was the waffle station. They had a waffle station with a bunch of fruit and everything, and people could put whatever they wanted on it. And I know that was a hit. This year we have learned, and we're going to start looking at adding a little bit more like gluten-free options, and making sure that we have stuff for people that don't eat meat. It's, again, no matter how many times you produce events, there's always something that might slip through the cracks. And so we learn and we evolve. And this year we're making sure to be mindful of that component, because people worked around it last year, but we want everybody to leave feeling good.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask. A lot of my friends are vegan, vegetarian. So I just wanted to know, like, are people who have those special diets, are they satisfied? So yeah, we're improving each time.
Yes.
Amazing. Yay, I'm excited for the waffle station and to dress cute and meet more women. It's always a good time. Is there consumption at the event? At nationals, will there be?
So yes and no. In the venue, and technically we can't necessarily provide it, but we've worked with this venue to where they will allow, and they're not going to care if people are consuming out front. So we're adding a little bit more out front to make it more of like an area people can hang out. And we're just thankful that they're willing to work with us, because we know a lot of these venues can't offer it, can't allow it. So they're trying to find a good balance to where we could have some sort of area to appease those of us that want to go out for a quick minute and take a break,
Mm-hmm.
Especially being in a room with just like that many people can be a lot at times, no matter how much fun it is. You just might be like, I need to take a break, and I just need to smoke a quick joint really quick and be right back. We also are going to have some more CBD components. So we're working with the chocolatier who's probably going to make some CBD chocolates. We're talking to a couple drink sponsors and brands to look at creating some activations. So we are also incorporating it in other ways, but like more on like the cannabis, like flower and vaping. We have an area for them outside.
Okay, cool. Noted. And I know the Blunt Brunch events are primarily a lot of women, but is it open to everyone?
It is. We are open to our allies, especially for like our national events or our public events. We just ask that, they respect the blunt conversations we're going to have. Try not to come in and mansplain these conversations, because we're having real discussions that we don't necessarily feel comfortable to have in front of our male counterparts or our team, or, so that's all we ask is come welcoming and come understanding and filled with compassion, and listen to the blunt conversations that we're going to have, and go back and maybe relay this and, spread that message of how can we make a difference for women in this space. So yeah, they're welcome, but we have some expectations.
Okay, cool. Yes, the conversations are always really powerful. I remember just getting chills and looking around at people, and like some people have tears in their eyes. So yeah, I'm excited to see what the conversations will be next time. Yes. Let's switch gears a little to eventhi. I love that platform. If you're familiar with the Eventbrite, this is kind of similar to that, but tailored to cannabis events. So that's beautiful. That's what I need. So how did that come about?
It really came because we actually had problems with Eventbrite. You know, this was about 10 years ago when we were hosting business to business events. We didn't have consumption. We were trying to tread lightly about what we were doing. And we got flagged on Eventbrite and they froze our funds. They froze our funds for months. And it was a nightmare. And we were just like, well, what do we do? And it was like a weird thing because we've hosted multiple events beforehand. And then this one event caught their eye. And then we had other events. We created another account, which we probably, you know, we still risked it because we didn't have anything else out there. We created another account and was able to host a couple other events. But it was that, you know, going through that process, just trying to get the money and, you know, being a startup at that point, every dollar counts. Every dollar, even now, you know, goes into producing these events and it costs money. So that was kind of that aha moment. And we started putting fillers out with other event organizers. And just seeing like, is this a problem? You know, do other people run into this? And we found out that they did. So at that point, I still had Direct Cannabis Network, and my fiance, who's the CEO of Event High, you know, started putting the foundation to begin Event High. So, you know, in correlation of that. And, you know, it took a while, but we were able to find a compliant banking partner. And that's really when we were able to hit the ground running. And we launched our private beta, and then we finally released our public beta. And now we're out of beta. We're in our first version of Event High. And so from here, it's just going to continue to enhance our features and services.
Awesome. I didn't know that your fiance works with you. How's that? How do you guys balance?
Honestly, I thought it was going to be hard because he was part of the evolution of my first company of DCN. And I think that was because it was more of my baby at the time. We butted heads on things. So I was nervous now in a way. Yes, we kind of thought of, he more thought of Event High. I don't want to ever take credit of that, but like I helped put the pieces together. But I was like, this is his baby. I'm like, I don't know if he's going to want me stepping on his toes. But at that time, you know, I think we both grew. We both grew as individuals, as entrepreneurs, and we both acknowledged what each other's skill sets were and where we brought in different areas and how we could help propel, again, the bigger vision of Event High. The only problem now is we don't know when to shut off work. So that's kind of like our only trouble now is like, you know, at dinner, we'll still be talking about, you know, about work. And it's like, hey, okay. That's not all of our relationships. So we're trying to practice that, making sure we go on dates, making sure we remember our relationship and not business.
Congratulations on your engagement.
Thank you. Thank you.
Awesome.
It's been a minute. So we ended up putting all of our money into these businesses. So we're hoping next year will be the route where we can finally tie the knot.
Are you going to invite your guests through an Event High link?
We joked about that. We're like, should we have them all registered?
That'd be cute.
You never know. Good marketing.
Yeah. All right. And besides Blunt Brunch, what is another one of your favorite cannabis events?
So there's an organization, and she actually said hi, one of the creators of it, Jennifer Miles. So it's a group called Plant Body Soul, and they create the best activations. Like their events touch all the different senses, you know, visually, from smells, from taste, from just experiences. And they just create such an evolution of different types of events and styles. And I really enjoy seeing that. You know, prior to COVID, that was happening a lot in California. I was really excited seeing how we were evolving in the cannabis event landscape in California. And, you know, I know with, again, what happened for the past couple of years, it definitely changed things. And now we're kind of bouncing back into experiences. But yeah, I would say on the top of my radar right now, Plant Body Soul.
Cool. Awesome. Yeah, the senses. And yeah, during COVID, my senses got a little out of whack too. So we're back to normal. Yeah. So that's awesome to hear. Can you share your thoughts on the current state of Arizona's cannabis industry?
Yeah. So, and I'm not as well educated because I'm more on the tech side of things, but just from my experience and what I've heard and what I'm seeing through all the conversations with my friends, you know, I think there's obviously good and bad in every market, but I still think Arizona's going in a good direction, especially coming out of California and being in a bubble for so long. Like I didn't know, I assumed everybody kind of worked how we did, and now, as I'm in Arizona, I'm like, okay, well, don't do and follow anything California did. Like it's a nightmare. I'm seeing all my friends struggle, like again, sampling, like it's an issue. You can't get really gift bags anymore. Everybody's working around to try to get their product out there, and they know the value of getting their product out there. But with the cannabis industry in Arizona, I like it. Like it's really like everybody's really in that mindset of working together, of still trying to listen together. I know there's acquisitions happening. There's people taking over certain things. That's going to happen in every state. Like there is good and bad, but there's a lot of good things happening here as a community. And when I first moved here, again, being from California, I was shocked by how little diversity of products they had. Like, it was kind of going back to medical days in California of like Rice Krispie, like just like, general products. And now it's like really cool to see them evolve and seeing them produce different brands and different products coming to market here. So I'm excited to see where Arizona continues to grow.
Cool. I have only spent time in like Bisbee, Arizona, that area. I would love to visit Sedona, the beautiful hills and everything over there. But who are your favorite brands and products in Arizona?
In Arizona, so I recently found out about this new brand, and I really like it. It's called Ladylike. So it's definitely for a woman. You know them? Okay.
I'm familiar, yeah.
I don't like, I consume, but I really consume more at night. I consume more at night to shut me down because I'm just always like, go, go, go. And they have a night line, and it's a gummies. They also have a vape pen of it as well. And it actually worked for me. Like I did not wake up groggy. I like went to sleep gently. Like it was the best brand, and their branding is amazing too. Mm-hmm. So I would say Ladylike, OGs. And then when it comes to flower, because I'm definitely a flower girl, I love Toasted and High Grade. Those are two really good brands here. And then one more, I'm like, I got so many. Yeah. And then from a drinking component, I really love Calvara and Wink. Like those two brands are just, I have to have something from everything because I go in moods. But I would say those ones.
Thank you. Yeah, Ladylike excites me. I'm very much a pink girl lover, so I love their font and just their whole vibe. I hope to meet them and interview them soon as well. So what are your favorite strains since you're a flower girl?
So my favorite strain right now, actually, I wanted to make sure I said it correctly because it's by High Grade. It's Headhunter. This one here. And, being here in Arizona, it was hard for me to really find which strains that I really liked. I have a really good friend who's a grower in California, and his strains are always so consistent. So kind of leaving that and trying to find something else in Arizona was a little bit hard, but Headhunter has been like the top thing I've been smoking lately.
Cool. Thank you. What would you say are factors that determine whether a cannabis company will be successful or not?
I would say grit, because you definitely need that to survive in this industry. Patience, and being able to understand when it might be time to pivot or relook at your business model. And I think the other thing is like a really good thing that we have to have is also making sure we're connected to the community and culture. Just because we're building a business doesn't mean you ignore this big community. Like it's really important that we thrive together, and have these two sectors emerge eventually. I think that's what's really going to help us as an industry and community grow together, is bringing those aspects together. So again, for brands to have grit, to be able to pivot, and again, just to make sure that we're being mindful of the community aspect of this plant.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you. And you're doing a great job. You're very active on LinkedIn as a thought leader and just sharing your experiences, and your honesty as well. Sometimes, there's so much in our industry, and we're kind of pioneers. It's a new industry, so we're dealing with, obviously the obstacles and our own personal sometimes doubts. But like you said, I saw you post, just drown out any negativity and just focus and be gracious that we're here and that we're making an impact.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
thank you. I learned a lot from you and your posts.
Oh, thank you.
Okay. What would you want to be known for as a professional in the cannabis industry?
I think it's in the cannabis industry and in life. Like, I just want to empower people to empower us on a human connection basis. As you mentioned it, like, we're all going through so much, like personally, professionally, and it's a hard ass life out there. And so I just want to be able to empower us to humanize our connections with each other. I don't know what that means in the cannabis industry. Like, again, just maybe inspiring people to be kind and have compassion. I think before my mindset was going to always was about business. And before I was like, I want to be known as a tech entrepreneur in cannabis. And I still do, but I think it's more than that now. I think it just has to be more on a humanized connection space, that I want to empower people to have that connection in the space to do good and have compassion for each other.
You're on the right track. Absolutely. How do you approach each workday, your day to day? How do you prepare, organize, and execute? Or just like, what's a typical day for you?
A typical day, I have checklists because I also have ADD. So if I don't have a checklist, I'll be all over the place. And in reality, I'm still kind of all over the place. I still jump from project to project. So from checklist to having a calendar that's like, okay, these are the things I got to get done today. That's from that part of it, and, when I wake up, I haven't even touched it yet, but I always have a fresh squeezed juice. I make it every week. So I have that. And then I just power through, meetings, calls, studying the event landscape, seeing what new events are coming out there. It's kind of like a partial day. Mornings are event high, afternoons are blunt brunch.
Mm-hmm.
So it just kind of ranges day by day, but yeah, trying to split it up between the two businesses.
And yeah, I was going to ask, I guess it's also like balancing your work and your life, but now I know that you kind of live with your partner, business partner as well.
Yeah.
But I also see that you work out and you do hikes and stuff. So is that during the week or weekends or?
Yeah, during, I kind of fell off for a little bit, but I'm getting back on it. I'm now putting it in my calendar and I'm moving it up in the day, because my problem was I was moving my workouts to later. And by the end of the day, I was just like, I'm exhausted. I don't want to do anything. So I now take time in the middle of the day to go work out, or, hiking's definitely more on the weekends. But it really kind of evolved, over the past couple of years, where I'm like, I need to live more. I can't just focus on building a company and building a business. And I don't know if it's just in the cannabis industry that it goes so fast that that's what you just put your energy on and focus on. But, for me, I was living that, where I was just always living, eating, breathing business and work. And again, that's why I need cannabis at night, to shut my brain off and to chill out and not talk about work. But even last night, I literally voice memo Priest, and I'm like, I hope you don't listen to this till tomorrow morning, but I have a really good idea about 2024. So sometimes you can't just shut it off.
Yeah, well, I can tell that you're having a lot of fun doing both things, balancing your work and your personal life. So that's awesome.
Yeah.
I do want to ask about your you even do more. You're involved with ICBWA, and This Is Jane, and Lift&Co, which is another cool convention, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Can you just talk a little bit about that for the audience?
Yeah, so the ICBWA, it's the International Cannabis Businesswomen Association, and they are an amazing nonprofit that are helping women learn and empower themselves to become better business owners or to evolve in business. I'm on the advisory board, so I can't take any real credit for what they're doing, but I do help advise them. We have a monthly call, and they just kind of give me updates on what they're doing, and if I can help in any way, I do that. But it was important to me to be a part of that organization because I love what they're doing, and I want to help impact any way I can. So there's that one. This Is Jane Project was similar. They're also a nonprofit, and they are more of a trauma-informed community where they're helping women and non-binary individuals heal their trauma. Essentially, it was through cannabis, and now it's kind of evolving. And that one, I'm a little bit more hands-on. I help with their Healing Happy Hour, which is a virtual monthly event, and they have kind of important conversations and activities for individuals to join us at. And again, that one was just near and dear to my heart. They actually are going to be receiving a percentage of our ticket sales this year. Them and Mingus Academy. Mingus Academy is an organization that Paris is involved with. And so we wanted to find other ways to give back outside of just like our scholarship opportunities for women to come to Blunt Brunch and things like that. We wanted to also give back to community. And then the last one, Lift&Co. They're a really cool event. The thing is, I haven't been yet. So it's like, I've just been watching them from afar, from, doing it in Canada. I know they were going to come to NorCal. But again, just us being in the event landscape, they asked me to join their advisory board so that I can kind of give them data insights of what we're seeing across the board when it comes to events, ticket pricing, things like that. So that's been a really cool, exciting opportunity to share some insight with them.
Thank you very much. So yes, if you're going to attend Blunt Brunch, just know that a portion of the proceeds from your ticket is going to a great cause. So that's awesome. And okay, we're going to switch to another fun part. Just like a hot take portion, just say the first thing that comes up to your mind when I ask this question. What was your first experience consuming cannabis like?
My first experience was when I was young. I was young. I'll say that. And I just remember, just laughing with my friends. Like, it was the funnest thing that we did. But I also was so nervous because, again, growing up in the households we did, I knew it was wrong. So I was like, if I get caught, I am going to get I'm done. But it was fun. And now looking back, I'm like, Adelia, again, I have ADD, I have anxiety, these things. I'm like, I was self-medicating. I was yes, it was fun. And I don't think at the time, obviously I didn't know it was a medical thing, but I'm like, I really feel like at that point in my life, I still had anxiety and all this stuff. In a way, it was probably self-medicating those things to feel normal, So yeah, I just remember it being fun and exciting.
Awesome. And what keeps you in the industry now?
Real talk, I actually just posted about this today. This is the first year after 10 years where I really questioned leaving this industry. And it was tough. It was tough to say it out loud. It was tough to recognize it. And it broke my heart. I was like, I can't believe, I always thought I've had so much passion for being in this industry and being part of the community. And I was just broken. I was tired of seeing just all the things happening in this space. But I knuckled down. I stopped a lot of the, projects, partnerships, all the things that didn't make sense, and just focused on the businesses, Blunt Brunch and Event High, my why, what these organizations were doing, and just got hyper focused. And it brought me back to the importance of it. And it really goes back to the plant. It goes back to how this plant changed me to who I am today, and how it's helped so many others. And if I can help be a part of that story to making sure that we don't lose the heart and lose the community, that's why I'm here. And that's important.
Beautiful. And we are so glad that you are here. What kind of music do you vibe out to?
Reggae and dance music and rap, but there's this new kind of music I'm listening to. I don't even know what to call it. It's very drummer, like positive vibes. I tried to look it up before we got on this call because I'm like, what do I call this music? But it's just more like empowering, like kind of manifestation music. So yeah, that's the new one. I just don't know what we call it yet.
Okay, you're gonna have to share that with me. I'm sure.
Yeah.
I know sound is vibration and frequency, and it all definitely affects us. My cousin used to listen to the Cottonmouth Kings when I was growing up. Honestly, they did influence me, and here I am in the cannabis industry. So it is very powerful. Thank you. Who are your top 3 artists specifically?
Collie Buds, Natalie Rise, and this one's out of the blue, but I love Frank Sinatra, especially in the fall. Like he's always playing in the kitchen, like, or in my living room. I'm just like a different vibe, you know? It's like I transition through seasons.
I love listening to Frank Sinatra for Vegas.
Yeah.
Let's be a lady. What are your absolutely necessary items for a smoke sesh?
I got to make sure to have munchies, like no matter what. I got to make sure we have some snacks there. Water, because I love water. I mean, that's weird to say, yeah, but I love water. And enough pre-rolls to make sure that we can keep the sesh going.
For sure. I love water too. I'm big on Evian and the spark or spring water. What kind of munchies food?
So popcorn would be the first one. I don't know. I love popcorn, but I also have been on a kick, and it's healthy, but it's just been my kick lately. It's cucumbers and hummus. I like literally could just mac on. Maybe it's because I don't feel guilty because I'm like macking on it, you know? Yeah, so I would say popcorn for sure. And then my drink wise, like I love lemonade, and it like has to be a certain kind of lemonade. It can't be too sugary. It can't be like not processed, but like it can't be too fake tasting. You know, it has to be like homemade lemonade. Like that's been my jam.
Cool. Thank you. I love that too. I love cucumbers with lemon personally. Mm-hmm. Awesome. Okay. What are 3 to 5 brands? I know you had mentioned earlier Ladylike, OGs, but are there any brands or products that you feel represent Arizona cannabis at a high level?
I don't know. That one's hard because I'm like, again, like I feel like everybody has a different brand. You know, again, I would say Toasted they're not that new, but they are still new. And I would say they're going to become a really recognized brand in the industry and what they're doing. Yeah, outside of the others, the ones that I like, but I would say if out of all of them, definitely Toasted.
Thank you. Are you into sports?
Yes and no. I don't necessarily like watch it anymore. I like to play sports, but that's it. Like I don't really, I'm not really in tune with it. I'll put it on the TV or I'll watch it with other friends, but not anymore.
What sports do you play when you do?
Well, it has been forever, but you know, I have been looking to get back into it. I'm like, there has to be like an adult, and I know there is, but soccer, like I love soccer. I used to play soccer, softball, and I was a cheerleader. And I've been wanting to get back out there and do soccer. Cause like, I know it like kicks my ass. So like I'll work, you know, that's my workout right there. But yeah, hopefully I can find an adult soccer team out here.
I love that you used to be a cheerleader. How fun.
It comes out occasionally. My friends make fun of me because I'll be like doing a thing and they're like, "Oh, that's your cheerleader."
Yeah, your energy for sure. What are some of your favorite restaurants or food in Arizona?
My favorite food in general is sushi, and there's this spot that I always go to. It's called Ahai Sushi. It's in Goodyear, so I'm sure there's plenty more spots that are like way better sushi wise. But I'm kind of like on the outer area of Phoenix, so I don't have like all the cool restaurants out here, but that's definitely one of my favorite restaurants to date.
What is something about Arizona that people don't know about elsewhere?
There's a lot to do here. You know, again, leaving California, I didn't know what to expect. And I think this might be more personal. I don't know, maybe others that have left and moved to Arizona can relate, but there's just a different vibe here. I feel like maybe because it's a little bit slower paced, it's a lot more affordable. Like I can actually live a lot better and, you know, actually take time from working. Prior to living here, you know, outside of, you know, with eventhi and stuff, I also had a bunch of side gigs trying to survive in California. And so I was always trying to work, trying to just live. And so it's just a different pace here. But yeah, there's so much to do. You have mountains, you have camping, you have hikes, you have rivers. Like, there's something for everyone. And the desert sunsets are just phenomenal. Like, I, again, never thought anything could compare to beach sunsets, but the desert sunsets I'm like in love with. Like, they're topping the beach sunsets for me.
Yes, I'm familiar. It's just like a rainbow in the sky every single day.
So
is the Clarendon Hotel over there?
yeah, it is. It's, I haven't been in a minute, but I used to love going, and I still would love to go. I just haven't had to the time, but they're hosting a lot more events now. They're working with a lot more event organizers and creating unique experiences. But yeah, I love the concept, like the top level rooms are where everybody, like, you can rent it out and consume. And then the rooftop, you can consume up there. And then they have like a membership room downstairs as well, along with like a restaurant and the pool and stuff. But I love the concept. And I guess the owners also bought the one in Vegas. It's not the Clarendon in Vegas, but
Lexi.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
So, yeah, so they're kind of involved in some sort of way, but yeah, Clarendon's still here.
Okay. Anything else that people need to know about you and what you have coming up?
No, I mean, if you want to learn more about Blunt Brunch, check out bluntbrunch.com. We have our upcoming nationals event in Vegas. We're kicking off Cannabis Week with about 400 women for brunch, blunt conversations, entertainment, and plenty of networking. The other thing is on Thursday at the actual convention center, we're working with MJ BizCon and doing our annual Women in Cannabis group photo at their booth. So that's going to be on Thursday at 3 p.m. So if you're going to BizCon at the actual show floor, definitely stay tuned for that. And then with eventhi, be sure to check out eventhi. You can learn about all different events and experiences happening nationally. Our goal is to really continue to evolve the community at eventhi and bring in more bring more event organizers, and really be able to flourish the bringing people together through cannabis events.
I love it. Let's see what else before we end today. We're definitely going to have Parisa as well on another interview. And I'm so excited. You guys, the community that you've created, once again, I just can't say enough about it. Like, they're very special events. I didn't have the brunch last time, but I'm excited again for the brunch this time and just to meet more women. It's just a place for women across the country to just get together. I don't travel to the East Coast, so it's good to have ladies from the East Coast come here and just be able to, talk and share our experiences. But yeah,
I'm glad you get to come this year. It's going to be so exciting, and we're going to have a lot more entertainment, like bigger speed. It's going to be great. So yeah, just come feeling fabulous and you'll have a great time.
Thank you. And Adelia is here for business or pleasure, entertainment. She's got the events going. She's here if you ever need, business advising or empowering or healing. That's what she's here for you to do. Definitely tap into her LinkedIn and all of her platforms. You're going to find something that will resonate with you. I'm sure of it. But thank you guys. Thank you for tuning in. That will be our conversation for today. Thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule. We'll let you get back to the work that you need to do. This was another episode of the Hire Women podcast. I'm Shelbie Vasquez, and this is Adelia Carillo. Please make sure to leave a review in the comments, like, follow, and subscribe our Instagram and YouTube. And don't forget to ask for Respect My Region weed at your local dispensaries and delivery services. Have a beautiful day. Thank you. Bye.